Mm-hmm.
Oh, beautiful morning, guys. It's a beautiful morning here in Yucatan. And I hope you're having a good time over there wherever you are. Let me welcome um the team this morning. Okay, let me introduce the special guest first, if you let me, Oscar.
Go ahead,
Is
please.
Daniel Arenas.
Yes.
Good morning, Daniel.
Yes. Good morning. Good morning, Cam. Good morning, Oscar. It's nice to be here.
Nice. And of course, part of our team, it's always from SLT representing Oscar Cruz. What's up?
Good morning, guys. Good to be here.
Yes. Daniel, do you ever think of calling yourself Daniel Sands?
Oh no, no, no. In the U.S. they would pronounce it arenas.
Arenas,
Arena.
right.
So
Arena.
yes, because the word is there, arena, arenas, right? So plural. So a lot of people would just say arena. So there was also a
No,
basketball player, huh?
but you, like to give it a little bit more style, you never thought about it?
No, no. I never thought about that. No, I just try to keep it. Yes, try to keep it simple. But yes,
Right,
maybe that could be like a stage name, right?
right,
A
right, right.
celebrity name.
Exactly.
Yes,
Right, why not?
yes.
Hey, all right. Now I'm just kidding, bro. So, hey, Daniel, we know very little about you. Well, I do. Tell us about your teaching experience, man. Where do you learn and where do you teach? Tell us a little bit about you.
Myself.
No, my name is Daniel. I've been a teacher about for 2 years now. I've been working at the same school for the past 2 years, part time. Before that, I wasn't an English teacher. I was, we could say, afraid of being an English teacher because I never had any type of training. So, about more than 2 years ago, I was able to do the TEFL certification, and that type of certification gave me a lot of motivation and a lot of security, and made me be more self confident. So after I got that certification, I started teaching English, and that was something that helped me a lot. Because before I did know English, but I just didn't know how to teach. I was able to tutor some people some years ago, but never able to teach them in a formal way like I've been doing now for 2 years.
Ah, great, great. And how has your life changed now that you're a teacher?
Well, no, I'm just I like the extra income, but at the same time, I like interacting with students, and I'm learning every day about the situation here in Mexico, about how there's a lot of people that don't know English. There's a lot of people that haven't taken English classes, and when they start taking English classes, sometimes it's very difficult for them. So I think that is something that's very unfortunate here in Mexico, that we don't take English seriously. Um, but yes, it's always a growing experience, and an experience where you're learning something every day. And sometimes it's even a job where you have to try to motivate the students to continue learning.
Sure. All right. All right. Hey, let me just fix. Let me just introduce. Hey, Oscar, we have a situation with your mic. Can you lower the volume as much as you can? Because it sounds like we are underwater or something. I'm like,
Okay, how about right now? I lowered it.
oh yeah, a lot better.
It's
Not
better.
really. No. When
Mhm.
you mute it, it's a lot better. You
let, let,
know.
let me log out. I'll log back in, guys.
There you go. Thanks. All right, but meanwhile, let's get Neeson. What's up? Let's introduce Neeson. You don't know Neeson,
What was Oscar on a plane?
right?
Right?
He sounded like he was landing from like skydiving, and you know what I'm saying. Hey, Neeson, let me introduce you to Daniel. Daniel is a fellow teacher. Young teacher. And he's
Daniel,
gonna be
nice,
joining
nice,
us today.
Nice to meet you, Daniel. Yeah, I got to see like the first part of the
Yes.
Presentation.
yeah. How do you like people to pronounce your last name? Arenas,
Uh,
Arenas.
Arenas in English, yeah. And when we're speaking English, I usually say Daniel Arenas, yes. So we could pronounce it that way because the
All
word
right.
is there, right? Arenas. So yes, that's. I always tell students that if you see the word in the word, you should say it, right? That's what I tell people.
Yeah, but it's
Right,
about
right.
the way you prefer. So thank you for having me. I'm sorry I'm a little late, but some classes take way too long
Mhm.
to wrap up. But I'm here. I'm here.
All
Yes.
right. Let me see,
Hey, look
Oscar.
who finally decided to show up, man.
Yeah, don't judge him. He was there. Hey, so
Don't judge him.
today's
Look at this dude. Don't judge him. You should see what he was saying about you, man. Come on, man. Have the guts to say it in his face.
I never
He-
said
he-
anything about these. I always said, man, he must be busy or something.
I
Yeah,
know.
and he
I
was
know.
busy. He was productively busy. All right, guys. So, good morning, Estrella. How you doing? How you doing,
Yeah.
Blanquita? Good
Hello.
morning.
Yes.
You
Good
know,
morning.
good on there. All right. So today's topic is memorable moments. As an English teacher. However, I wanna ask you, Daniel. You've been teaching for only 2 years. I mean, I say
Hmm.
only, which is but it is great experience. However, well, Neeson has been teaching for 40 years. Oscar's been teaching for 20 years. So
Yes.
Yeah, we were
so
both
Yes.
that's why I
teaching.
said only.
You know,
However,
and Daniel didn't flinch. He was like, "Oh, 40 years. Yeah, he looks like he has been teaching for
Yes.
40
Yeah,
years."
it's been a rough ride.
Yes.
sure,
I'm not
Several
that
years.
old.
sure.
I'm not that old, man. I'm not that old.
Okay.
However, my question is, you started working probably a year before the pandemic started, so maybe your experience is 1 year, live, and one
Hmm.
year online. That's my perception.
Yes, you're right. That's true. That's
Okay,
correct.
and can you tell us how is your experience? Tell us about your experience like teaching students live. How do you like it? What because man, the first years are the best when you get nervous, when people ask you questions you don't know, when you have to deal with you're building your experience, right? So how was the first year of you teaching?
No, it was an experience where I was learning a lot. I had to sometimes learn to be more efficient with my time, and sometimes be better prepared. At first, I would just try to wing it, and just sometimes have the material on the tablet. But really, it is better to be prepared and to have everything sometimes on paper or sometimes have everything in notes. That's something that helped me be more efficient and be able to cover more material in the time that we had uh, to to finish the lesson. And also, I had to learn how to, I guess, be quiet during the class and let others participate, let the students, let them have more speaking time than me. So little things that you need to learn during the first couple years.
True. Hey, Blanca Sid says, "Why so serious, Daniel?"
Oh yes, this is a serious podcast. That's why. Yes,
Uh,
we have to be
Look,
serious.
look at these people not serious at all. Hey, Oscar, are you in a tunnel?
No, I have tunnel vision, but I'm not in the tunnel.
No, because it sounds like you're in a tunnel or in an airplane, but outside the airplane.
Is it a
You
different
know.
headset? Because maybe you're having the same problem I had.
I had to
That your
switch.
mic is maybe your mic is too sensitive, or
Oh,
there's some sort of. Well, you know what I mean.
I
I
know.
mean,
Huh?
no, because
Anyway,
that's why I'm muting myself now, because so you don't get to hear when I swallow.
Mute, Cam. You run the show there. I mean, can you hear me now? How does it sound?
we can hear you, but we can also hear the ooh noise you got in the background.
Something like this.
Let me log out and I'll come back in.
All right, man.
Like he's in the middle of a fire or something.
I was gonna tell
Yes.
Oscar or not. Nah, I was just all right, bro. So, but do you have or have you had any memorable memory that you want to talk about in your years of experience?
Nothing in particular. I mean, I really like when students learn to think in English, and the school that I'm in, we only speak English to the students, and everything is in English. So it's great when they stop trying to speak in Spanish, or when they stop translating things and they just start thinking in English. I think that that's one of the best things that I've been able to experience, when they really get into the English and just start thinking and speaking in English, and not just translating in their head.
All right, right. That's very memorable. And you, Neeson, come on. We have Enrique Gonzalez. Right, what's up, bro, Enrique? Good morning, guys. Definitely, the times we had a quick learning were such memorable ones. Yes, of course, bro. So if you want to come join us, I just posted the link, so you can join us. Just click on it, and you could just copy and paste the link, and you'll be here with us, bro. All right, the brand that says maybe Oscars with Darth Vader.
Oh
Sure,
yes,
maybe Darth Vader is right behind him. Like,
yes, that's true.
yeah,
At least that reference, Cam.
Darth Vader is this dude. No, like
Yeah,
in a movie.
Hmm.
because Daniel, you have to know this thing about Cam. Cam doesn't watch any movies,
Oh,
so
No,
pop culture references usually just
oh yes.
no, yeah,
You watch series? You
no, my
watch any
attention
series?
span is 3 minutes, man. You know,
Oh,
I watch YouTube videos and on double time.
oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay, I see. Here they said
like
QL. QL is quick learning, right? They mentioned quick learning.
sure, you know what it is?
Quick learning is a company, right? Yes.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
a sect.
Oh, it's a sect. QL.
Well,
I
it's a
think it's not.
sect. Like
I think it's not anymore. But yeah,
Because
some.
if you watch the movie, the series Selena and Netflix, yes,
yeah.
it says there that Berlitz taught Selena Spanish.
Oh,
It
for
says,
real?
Oh, oh
yes, it says
really?
it.
That's
Yes,
interesting.
yes,
Oh
because in the series, season 1, episode 3, they talk
my
about Berlitz.
God,
I'm I'm gonna check it
you
out.
are an expert.
Yes,
I think my wife
because
Okay.
started. I think my wife started watching it.
yes, because
I'll check it
they're
out.
in Texas, right? That she speaks English.
Of course.
And she tells the father, you said we have to go to Matamoros to give a concert, right?
Right, right,
And
right,
the
right.
father says, of course, of course. She says, I need to go to the store to buy something. And the father
Right.
says, what do you need to buy? She says, I need to buy some Berlitz tapes so I can learn Spanish.
Okay.
And then
That was a
she's with the
commercial right there.
so yes,
Yeah.
Berlitz taught Selena how to speak Spanish in the 80s.
I always
Yes.
wanted to work at Berlitz, but the one time I went, I think I didn't pass the selection test or something.
Oh, okay.
You know,
And
so
Well,
I see.
I heard terrible things about that place from Mike, our mutual friend, Mike Snowdy. I think he applied for. I think he took the training course and then he worked there for like 2 weeks and he said, "Nah,
No,
the
I
hell
see.
with this." And I always thought it was pronounced Berlitz. So is it Berlitz? I have no idea.
I think it's Berlitz. Yes. In the
I,
audios, they always say Berlitz. I think yes.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah, haven't paid attention. Well, if I may, I think I think what makes no, let me rephrase that. I think when you start teaching, or what made our quick learning experience so memorable is precisely that we were learning the craft.
Right.
So often there were memorable experiences, learning experiences, personal growth experience. So Daniel, how old are you?
No, I'm 31.
31. So you've been teaching for 2 years.
Yes.
So what made you decide to continue teaching? Because perhaps you tried it for 6 months or something, and then
Mhm.
perhaps you said, well, I think this is what I'm going to be doing for quite a while.
No, I enjoy it. I enjoy seeing the students grow, and I enjoy seeing how sometimes my strategies do work, and sometimes how I have to change my strategies. So I think that it's something challenging, and I like that, and I like teaching the students about the yeah, basically introducing them to English and letting them know that. Uh, Thinking in English is sometimes very different than thinking in Spanish. And I think that in a way, it's kind of like a puzzle where you have to figure out the puzzle and figure out the order. And it's not just translation; it's basically thinking and figuring out the puzzle that is the English language. And I teach them about the verbs and the nouns and all these type of things that you have to look for the strategy and figure out the puzzle.
All right, that was a
Great.
good answer. What about let me just introduce Oscar. Can you talk now?
Yeah, I can talk.
All right, I'm sure you do.
I mean, I can
Sure
try
you
sign
do.
language if
I
you want,
guess.
but
Well, I guess, would you talk, man?
uh,
God,
I'm answering your
why,
question, bud. I mean,
why you gotta be so sarcastic, bro? All right,
Yeah.
You know what I meant. That's what you
you know
should
what
have
I
said,
meant,
Oscar.
man.
You know what I meant.
You know what I meant.
all right. So yeah, I think it's a lot better.
Cool.
A
Okay.
lot better. So Nathan, I flipped the question on you.
Uh-oh.
What's the best thing about why do you decide to stay as a teacher after what the first year?
Yeah, probably it took me like, I guess it took me like 6 or 7 months to consider staying in that uh, type of activity, because I wasn't planning to. I just needed a job, and I wanted to go to college, and I wanted to study something like psychology or something. Like I was never really considering becoming a teacher, but I needed a job, and I had English as a tool.
I wanted to be somebody. Say
Not really. I just wanted to be able to pay rent. That's how it started.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, because I was gonna move in with this girl, so I needed a job, and then it was my mother who told me, like, yo, just apply for a teaching job. You got your English certificate and whatnot. Do something with it, because it was an investment. You didn't pay for it yourself. So she talked me into it, and I applied for my first job, the idiomas ejecutivos profesionales. I was a disaster. I took the training course, and then they assigned me to this very important executive at Ford Motors, and that person eventually just told the company, you know what, this guy's a kid. I mean, I need to talk
Ooh.
business. I need to talk about, you know, uh, my business meetings with very important people, and this kid, doesn't really have the experience I need. His English is all right, but he lacks the knowledge. So
And the looks. I remember you had long hair. You were a skater back in the day.
Oh.
but probably my looks didn't help, though. I was wearing like the suit and everything. So after that job, so that didn't go that well, and then I applied for quick learning, and there, man, I made some of my best friends, and the experience was amazing. Actually, the training course was a very, very good experience, and I was having the time of my life. I was being paid. We were being paid peanuts. At least I
Sure.
was, but I was having the time of my life, and that's when I decided, like, man, I want to do this.
I thought you were gonna say, but I was a monkey. So
Wow.
I kind of
Oscar,
was.
the question goes flip. It goes the other way around. Why do you stop being a teacher?
Oh,
I
stop.
mean, I didn't stop being, well, I stopped teaching English, right? But I was still a
All right.
facilitator. I was still a facilitator. So I did take a break.
Mm.
I did take a break. I took a break when my son was born. I was still uh,
Mm,
I was still teaching, but then when he was born and the school I was working at, it was, it's not a high paying job at times. Even if you have the certifications, even if you have all the degrees, sometimes English coordinators at a private school with masters are earning 18K, 15K a month, right? So it's not a high paying job. So at
sure.
that time, like Nissan says, right, I had a family, had to pay bills, and it wasn't really paying enough. So I went into the corporate world, corporate field, and it was not teaching English, but it was facilitating, which is exactly the same, right? You have to prepare your content, your audience. You have to engage. You have to work with all the different learning styles. So I mean, it was still, I would say facilitating, but just not English. And I did that for a couple of years. I'm still doing
Okay.
it, like a side hustle, right? Like a side thing right now. It's not my main source of income, like maybe for you
Okay.
guys or for Cam and Nissan, like Daniel and I, maybe that's not our main source of income, but it's still the same thing, right? I mean, it's still the same skill set, same experiences. But I agree with Nissan, that quick learning environment of getting your feet wet was quite an experience as well. Quite an experience.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, actually,
I can relate.
I remember.
Sorry.
Sorry, that's my first job was also like similar. We were not supposed to be teachers. We were supposed to be facilitators. You know,
Mm.
in order to facilitate executives to carry on with their meetings and everything. So that's what I lacked experience in the corporate world.
Okay.
So yeah, yeah. So yeah, sorry, Cam.
Okay.
All right. Now I can't. I think I said I can't relate to what Daniel was saying because it is a puzzle to me. It is a way of like I learned how to get into students' minds, therefore to people's minds. And that like when I was saying something and then people understood completely differently, that intrigued me. Like, what is going on in their minds? How come they understood completely different? And when I learned how to get into their brains and achieve a goal, like, oh, now they're performing. I don't know, I love that feeling. Like, wow, bro. Like, if you know how to, like, syntax, if you know how to put the right information in the right order, you program people to perform whatever you and they want.
Hmm.
And learning that process was amazing. It was lovely for me. So that's probably why I became why I stayed teaching. I kept teaching for the challenge of learning how the human brain works, you know? And of course the fun. And at the beginning, I'm gonna tell you the truth, the girls, you know. So I mean, like when because I was single, after first I was married in quick learning, but then I was unmarried, you know, and then I was single for a while, and I'm gonna tell you the truth, it was fun, I mean, I have to be honest, all of you are getting your sad faces, like I can't because I'm married now, but remember, guys, when you were single, you used to have fun, didn't
I
you?
see. I
Are
see
you
what you
married,
mean.
Daniel?
Yes, yes. I got married in December. Yes.
Oh, okay, so you'll never know what I'm talking about.
Oh no, I taught classes when I was single. You're right. But yes, but now I'm married.
What? Neeson married his student. Well, if that's not a secret.
I did. I married one of my students, but I do feel I think it's appropriate to mention that we're not trying to promote teachers being in a,
Okay.
trying to have
Well, I
a
am.
relationship with a student. No, but you shouldn't. You should look in. You should look into that. It's quite a topic that it's being discussed, and there are being. Actually, I just had a workshop from this
Why
university.
is it? Why is it such a taboo topic? I mean, it's just a topic. You know what I'm saying? But it's not an issue or anything, is it?
No, yeah, it's we have to be very careful with that issue.
It would take a whole hour to discuss that. I think that's a topic
No.
that's a topic by itself. Yeah, Cam.
Yeah, Cam.
Trust me on this one.
We'll talk about
Oh my
that.
God.
Trust me on
20
this
years
one.
ago, it was a
It is an
different
issue.
mindset, but now it's a little bit, it's a whole different, bro.
Oh man. Oh my God.
Most institutions will tell you, right? Dating or going out it's a very taboo topic because they want to avoid any legal matters.
Lawsuits.
Exactly. So just to add to Nissan, I also married my student, right? My wife was my student, but apart from that, we'll talk about that later on.
So
We can. I'm not saying we can't talk about it. I'm just saying that
Be careful.
it'll take us dude. Listen, it'll take us a while because it's not as on the as on the surface as you may think it is.
Man, you adults
Oh, yeah.
take things too seriously, bro.
Oh,
That's just,
Am I the only kid in this podcast now?
That's a grown teenager, right?
you're the
there.
only 40-year-old kid in this podcast. You're right about that. I'll give
my
you that.
God. Anyway, we'll have a podcast on that topic alone. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Definitely.
oh my God, look at me. But it's still funny for me to see. Come on, anybody in the audience, just comment on that, at these people's faces that they got so serious about it. Because it is funny to me. It is funny to me. But anyway, so
Of course it is.
memorable,
To you.
which is. I guess it is it's part of your memorable memories, bro. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about that. I think that's the it would be part of the topic, man. When you have a connection with a student, why not? I mean, is it hard? Is it not? Is it illegal? Is it prohibited? Is it bad? Is it dangerous?
Yes,
Man,
yes.
why?
In many institutions, as long as you are in the position of a teacher and the person is in the position of a student, yes, you're gonna get repercussions, official repercussions. And some universities have actually specific departments that are in charge of monitoring this. So,
okay.
So yeah, you might wanna find out about the topic first before before we really talk about it. Yeah.
I am finding out because to me it's just not an issue. Like I'm an adult, but you said because I've never been in that situation that an institution tells me not to do it or to,
Come on, man.
Really?
We told that all the time. Quick learning. I mean, it doesn't followed it, but that was continuously told.
Maybe because of the kind of language centers that we've worked at usually.
Right. That's probably why I have that.
They make their own rules and they don't always comply with the official recommendations. But this thing I'm talking about has become an international issue. There are international protocols about these type of things. Of course, they're not rules or laws or whatever. But some institutions are really taking it seriously. Like if you're working for some random language center, yeah, of course, nobody may have a problem with that. Not even the principal or whatever. But if you're working for a university or something like that, yeah, it's a whole different story.
Okay, I understand in university because of the age range. No.
Oh, okay.
I understand that. but in a professional environment, in a professional set, that all of you are adults. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think I mean things happen, you
we,
know,
we, we could
and
say we could
So
say
we are
there's
doing
not the
this.
ideal. It's not the ideal thing, right, to happen.
right. You're not gonna go and look for a wife in a classroom. No, that's not what I'm saying. But it does happen. So I don't see why it's such an issue. I mean, because it happens all the time. I mean, we are humans, and as long as you keep it, as long as you are a responsible human, you shouldn't have any trouble with anything in life, even
But
if you.
it is because of the power dynamics. You're in a position of
Uh,
authority. You're in a position
Oh,
of
okay.
authority, so it doesn't matter how much of a nice guy you are, and it doesn't matter how respectful you are. You're just not in at the same hierarchical level as the student.
uh,
The hierarchy does matter because it lends itself to some sort of manipulation, whether
yeah.
whether it is psychological or whatnot. The student it's not at the same level. So but of course, like if it's an ex-student or something like that, yes, exactly, like, hey, you were my student last month, you're not my student now. So there's no hierarchical issue there,
Uh-huh.
All right.
you are not really in a position of authority, unless of course you're freaking 40 and and the other person is like 20. Well,
Yes.
that's another topic.
No, no,
But
yeah, exactly. That's another topic. But I was in the position that I was 27 and my students were 25 ish.
of course,
So
it wasn't an age issue, but you
yeah,
were in a
no.
position of authority.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Daniel wants to comment.
No. I think that's why dating apps right now are very beneficial to our society, because when you enter the dating app, you're of age. You decide I want to date. The other person gets on that app, says I want to date, and both of you are coming into it as responsible adults, where you're basically saying I want to date, I want to date, and both of you are getting into it on the same playing field, like Neeson said, right? Because in this other situation, Neeson is saying that maybe one is not ready and the other one is, or maybe
Mm,
one says, "Oh, well, he's my teacher. He's more responsible. He's more wise. Maybe I should go out with him." So little stuff like that, right? So I think that if if we're on the same playing field, on the same level, I think that that's the ideal situation.
okay, I understand what you're trying to
I
say.
don't.
Yeah, and it is.
And of course, yeah. I don't want to be a hypocrite. Of course, we know.
You're-
I have dated my share of students, and I married one.
You
Like, I'm
shouldn't have
not
said
scared.
that, man. 'Cause
Yeah, I'm
Tony's
not gonna
gonna
be.
be
I'm
all
not, I'm
over
not,
you from now on, man.
I'm
You
not gonna
shouldn't
be
have.
preaching like, no, I've never done it, and of course I've done it, but that was not the thing. That was not. I mean, that was not the. Plus,
like
that was not the topic, bro. That was not.
Yes,
it
it's not
sounds
the
memorable memories.
memorable
It is
relationships.
Yeah, you had.
Yeah.
Yes.
memorable
Yeah,
memories. Okay,
you got a
anyway,
point
I
right there.
think I think Oscar hasn't mentioned any memorable memory, you know,
Memorable
any
memory.
memorable experience as a student, as a teacher. Sorry.
Okay, me as a teacher and my students. Okay.
Uh, you as a teacher, bro.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, besides, meeting my wife and getting married, right? That's a whole different story. We'll talk about that later on.
All right, we
Um,
will.
a memorable moment, I would say, when I first started teaching teenagers, right? I was teaching sixth graders and fifth graders. And like I said before, all guys, all testosterone, just running on all cylinders, man. It's tough, man. That's tough. But I remember I was a substitute teacher for the first 6 months, right? So whenever the main teacher or the titular, they would say it, right, would be absent, then you had me covering all different groups, right? And then when I finally became like the titular, I had my own group. I was responsible for the whole English development. It was a very tough year for me because I had to I would get sick every 2 3 weeks, every month. Working with kids, you tend to get sick often because all the germs, all the you just get sick all the time. But I remember once I had I had a group of man, they were some mofos, man. They were just pain in the butt, man. And you know, it was. I'm not trying to say it was because of the social economical status, but to a certain extent, it was right because these are extremely wealthy families. But I remember I finished the year, and we had our ups and downs. We had our good moments, our bad moments, our challenges. And I was at a mall. I was at a mall with my wife, and this was in Marquez, I believe. I don't remember, somewhere in the southern part of Mexico City. And a bunch of these kids that were in that group, they were together. They were at the mall, you know, with their family, whatever the hell. And I was going up the electrical stairs, and they were going down. It was a group of six of them. And as they were going down, they just started like screaming out, like, "Hey, there goes Teacher Oscar, Teacher Oscar!" They were like all crazy and stuff, right? I'm like, "What the, you know, what's going on here?" And you know, I was waving at them, and they were like saying, "You know, how you doing? How you been?" And we were going up and down, and my wife was like, "What the hell just happened?" Right? I'm like, "I don't know. I guess, you know, I guess it was a cool year that we had." And then I was thinking, and I'm like, okay, you know, that's not bad. You know, even though we had ups and downs, and we had some good challenges, or I mean, some challenges and some, you know, negative moment, not negative, but challenging moments. You created a small impact in someone's life, right? So you're like, oh, okay, they're going to remember who Teacher Oscar was, right? So I guess that's one of those memorable moments where you're like, okay, those little pain in the butt, remember what we were doing, right? So I guess that was a cool experience for me.
Sure. Okay. I know what it is. You want to comment something, Daniel?
No, no, no. I'm just agreeing. It's yes, that does happen when you see your students outside of class sometimes.
Sure. Yes, of course. He said Enrique Gonzalez, Henry. What's up, bro? You should put
Oh,
Henry.
oh,
If you prepare a podcast about this topic, I want to be a guest.
Ah, yes.
I would be
this guy.
I would be fun. It would be fun. I have many funny stories to share. Okay,
All of them,
but
all
might
of
as
them
well.
appropriate, I guess.
Yeah,
Might as
why
well.
don't you invite Henry for tonight's chat?
It,
Man?
it,
I'm pretty
it might
sure a few.
it might be
I might as
an
well.
important topic.
It is, bro. It is because we
It's
are people, and
not.
but we might as well invite some female teachers too, because it might sound like
Oh,
teachers are
that's
like
the
are
other side of the
males.
story.
Ah,
No,
you're right.
so we can have a balance out, conversation. However, what you were saying, Oscar, I think that's memorable, man. It's happened to me too.
Yeah.
Like you change, like when students see you after a while, after 10 years.
Yeah.
Like 10 years after, and they tell you, "Hey, but you probably didn't notice, but you were being a big influence to my life." What when because we get inspired as teachers. Probably what Nisa was saying, we get in that hierarchy, like in a position where we scold them. We just like we just tell them things. We preach, and we tell them about life beyond that teaching English. So we start preaching, and well, that's what I do. I start talking, but some of my students, after a few years, they start telling they tell me, like, "Hey, what you were saying, maybe you didn't pay attention to what you were saying, but you did affect my life, and I'm thankful because I was young, and now I'm an adult, and it did shape what the kind of the adult of what I am now. No, it feels good. I used to have one of these memorable memories I got is when I used to have I used to teach the mother and the kid. The mother was in her 40s, and the daughter was in her teens. She was, I think, 16 or something, and she didn't have a father figure. So she would stay there for all day. In vacation time or vacations and whatever. She would just stay there in school, and she would come to me and tell me all her problems as like a father figure. And then I used to give her some advices and all this and that. And the mother used to make that triangle, like, "Hey, tell my daughter this because," and that kind of helped the family work a little bit better. They used the teacher as part of the family, because they weren't having a good communication. They weren't having good communication between like they didn't have a good mother daughter relation, and they used the teacher for achieving that, and later on they had good results. So that made me feel good. I was part of a solution. I helped their family beyond teaching English to both. They made me part of a mechanism that worked for them. Which that creates that made me feel good. What about you, Nissan? Tell us something. Soft
That was
core.
that was beautiful, Cam, and quite a big responsibility if you think about it, right? Like when you're young, you don't realize, but as you get older, you're like, oh,
Big.
I'm gonna tell you the
we
truth, man. Now that I'm older, I think about things more, and I might be more careful on that. But when I was younger, like because they happened in my what 29s, 28s, and I was just it just happened. I just did it. I didn't think about my responsibility as a like leader or as a guide. I just did it.
yeah, as you said, like
I
you probably didn't even notice that this was happening.
And the world was a little bit different now because, like you said, now the world has changed and it's become more, touchy, more sensitive. Some
Politically
people, I'm
correct.
gonna tell you the truth, more politically correct. So you would say, no, I'm not in that position of who am I to teach you to talk to your daughter. I don't know. I think this
That's
is this is gonna change in the future again.
that's a way of
Mhm.
looking at it. All right, so yeah, me. When as we were talking, I actually remembered a memorable experience, which is not endearing because memorable means that it's easy to remember. I remember when I was working for this company. I was teaching companies, and then I received a better offer. So I decided to quit. So I tell these people, you know what? I'm not gonna be here for the next year. So because I have a better offer, so thank you very much for everything. Blah blah blah. And I remember they called me and they said, "Oh, okay, so you gotta come, sign, your resignation, and you gotta go get your settlement, like your final paycheck."
Mhm.
Okay, and I was like, "So how much is it? Because I worked for you guys for a year, so how much is my?" And they were like, "Oh, it's like 100 and something pesos." And I was like, I'm good. Like, because I had to go, they wanted to make me go, downtown and, stand in line for like an hour and a half, to go to this office, to sign this paper so they could give me my 100 pesos bill. And I was like, nah, I'm good. Thank you. You can keep that. And they were like, oh, okay. But you don't want to do that. Well, then you have to make a deposit into our account of what was it, like 450 pesos. Yes, like it was like that because you owe us money actually because you're leaving us. I'm
What?
like, what? Exactly. And yeah, that was memorable. And then I found out
Wow.
that they did that to every teacher that decided to quit the job. They were
And was
like,
that
yeah, okay.
legal? That legal?
Well,
Was
I don't
that
know.
legal?
I have no idea. I never cared. I mean, I never made any deposit, and I never went to pick up my 100. Because I remember I told this lady from it was from the reception lady. I told her, no, it's fine. I can afford a Happy Meal. You can keep my 100, my final paycheck. Now, I don't know if it was legal or not, but
Mhm.
but
Okay,
but it, but,
okay.
but it was
Daniel, you
but it
want to
was
share a story
it was
before we go? Because
No,
we
no,
got
we,
five
we can we
minutes.
can we can go to the next topic, or is this it over, or what do you mean?
It's
Five
it's
more minutes.
almost it's almost over. It's like we're 5 minutes from over. So give us a last comment then.
No, I just think that I think that we really need to start thinking about how we can. I think here in Mexico, I think there's a lot of potential for more people to learn English. We just have to find out how to motivate people to learn more English. And I think that these schools and these programs that cost a lot of money I don't think that that may not be the way. I think that it may be we may need to find more methods of being more intimate, more intimate learning with the students, or maybe having the students try to learn on their own, right? And to maybe just give them the tools, maybe just give them the books, and then that way, if they start learning, starting when they're young, 4 or 5 years old, that way we may be able to have a country that's more bilingual than we have right now. Because right now it seems that it's very difficult for the students to learn English, and I might even dare to say that it may be nationalism that people here in Mexico say, "Oh, well, I'm Mexican. I speak Spanish. I'm not a gringo. I don't speak English." But I think that is very beneficial, and I think that if we teach the children from the beginning, and we have them think more in English and pick up clues in different examples. I think that that's something that could help us here in Mexico. I think that that's
Okay.
something that we should try to look into.
Okay. By the way, I'm doing my part. I have free classes Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday on
There you
this
go.
YouTube channel.
Right,
You
right
know, for
there.
anybody that wants to learn English from zero, you can come to this YouTube channel, click on the like button, and I'll teach you English from zero for free. And that's it. You know,
Cool.
so I'm doing my part. But yes, of course, we should do more. We all should do more. Yes, definitely. Thank you, Daniel.
Well, I have an idea, and I can propose it to you later on.
Sure.
What about if we do like in the U.S. the children start learning English through reading books? What if we were able to do
Ooh,
that here in Mexico, where we were able to where we would be able to provide the children with the books in English, and they start becoming familiarized with the books and the sentences and the nouns and the verbs from a young age, from 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old. I think
Beautiful.
that
sounds
that I think
great.
I think that that could work, and I think that English teachers could promote that as well, because if you have the books, if you have the children's English books, and you have students, couldn't you let the children borrow these books and you teach them English, but at the same time they on their free time they have the books. I think that that's something that could help, and I would like to tell all y'all about this later on.
Oh,
Because
definitely. I'm interested.
Definitely,
I'm
yeah.
completely interested. Daniel, thank you very much for sharing that to us. And yes, of course, we can make it come through, though. Right?
yes,
All right. Thanks, Daniel. Thanks, Daniel. So, Oscar, from the airplane that you're on,
Are you about to
give us
land
your.
already?
I'm about to
Travis.
land, guys. So I'm about to land over here in Cancun. So sorry.
Oh yes,
But one
So,
last
tell us,
comment.
last comment. We got a minute.
Today was a memorable podcast for me, right? Because of all the issues
oh
that I had, right? But I guess Daniel, Nissan, Cam, all of you guys had some very solid points on different topics, and I think out of this podcast we can create 3 or 4 more different podcasts. But just to summarize it, I think English teaching or just teaching in general is still a profession that has meaning as a skill set, because nowadays you have production line, you have all type of people committing suicide, they're sad, they're not fulfilled. But teaching, facilitating, I think it's still very meaningful, and I think that's why I still walk the walk and talk the talk. So yeah, we're always going to have memorable moments in your teaching.
Sure, sure. Learning makes you happy. All these sad people around the world, they are sad with their sad faces because they're not learning anything. But learning makes
oh
you happy. You know? Learning makes you happy. Okay, what? Nissan, tell us the last comment. We got a few seconds.
Oh, you said it. Teaching, helps you learn things that you'd never learn if you weren't teaching. I don't know if that made any sense, but
Not at
yeah,
all.
it's a great profession. It's a great career, and I hope in the future we can have a second part where more teachers can join us and share their memorable experiences.
yes,
Sure.
and we have to be the catalyst, right? We have to be the catalyst for the student, so the student can understand that they can continue learning and learning. It's like the story of Helen Keller, right? Helen Keller, she didn't know. She was very rebellious. She was very wild, and the teacher started. Anne Sullivan started teaching her the names of the objects, right? But she didn't want to. She didn't understand that every object has its name. But she would try to do it, and she would try to do it, and then she took her to the water, to the spigot, and she placed her hands on the water, and then she signaled to her that how to spell water, right? And that was the catalyst where Helen Keller found understood that everything had a name. So after that, instead of being wild and rebellious, she would take things to the teacher in order for the teacher to tell her what the name of the object was, right? So that's it's like we need to be the catalyst so people can understand that they can speak English and learn English, right?
Yeah, and that story also talks about the passion and commitment
from the teacher
that a teacher can have, and when they can achieve. Yeah,
the patience, right? Because at first she was just wild. She didn't want to be troubled with all of that.
Yes.
Oh, we'll work on that. So good news for the channel. Maybe we can agree on something with Daniel, and we can have this children's segment for kids, So let's talk about that later. And thanks, Daniel. Thanks, Nissan. Thanks, Oscar. Everybody appreciate your time. Thanks for being here this morning. Blancacid is the one that remembered. Happy Teachers Day.
Yeah,
so yes, thank you. Tomorrow is Teachers Day.
Thank you.
So make sure you write down our PayPal account so you can make any donations for this. I'm just playing, bro. So remember, we have a conversation club at night, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, class for basics, Friday mornings, podcast with teachers, and Friday nights, conversation club for intermediate and advanced students. All right. So thank you very much, guys. See you next time. Enjoy your life. Take care.